As long as mankind has existed, people have thrown away stuff. As more and more of us populated the planet, we threw away more stuff. Today, humans generate vast rivers and huge mountains of garbage. But in recent years, we've found ways to draw valuable resources from what we throw away, resources we can use again and again. It's called recycling. As one of America's largest family-owned waste and recycling companies, Rumpke recycles more than 1 billion pounds of glass, paper, aluminum, and other materials from throughout much of Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, and West Virginia each year.
My family has been involved in recycling and managing the waste stream for generations.
By watching my dad as a young boy, I saw the enjoyment that he got out of the business. And it was something that I wanted to be part of one day.
We know we're in a tough business. We know that, what we do isn't always pretty, but it's necessary, and we want to do the best job we can at handling those materials and really be a first-class operation.
Rumpke's story dates back to the Great Depression in the early 1930s. Founder William F. Rumpke had a coal delivery service. Customers bartered with whatever they had, including chickens and pigs.
This farm right here where we're standing, there was an 80-acre tract where we start dumping here in the beginning. We bought all the existing land around it. Now we got about 1,100 acres here in all. Started out, maybe we had 50, 100 hogs. It grew to 2,000 hogs at one given time.
To keep the animals fed, William hired his unemployed nephews to collect garbage from area restaurants. In the 1940s, salvaged metal, scrap rubber, and other materials helped fuel the war effort. Trucks dumped waste into a pit at the Rumpke farm, where it was loaded onto a conveyor belt. Workers sorted out mainly metals, glass, and rags, then sold the materials for about $40 per ton. Food scraps were fed to the hogs and other livestock. In the 1950s, a new law required food waste to be cooked before it could be fed to livestock. That law changed the course of the Rumpke family business. With his youngest brother, Bernard, as his partner, William decided to sell his livestock and focus on collecting and disposing trash, taking it to the landfill in Colerain Township.
Here at Rumpke Sanitary Landfill in Colerain Township, we're permitted to take 12,500 tons of waste per day. So there's only so much waste we can compact in a certain area. So with that in mind, we have to do everything we can to reduce the amount of waste, to recycle it, find other uses for waste, so we can maximize the life of this landfill so we can continue to service our communities.
In 1986, the Rumpke Sanitary Landfill became one of the first landfills to recover methane and other natural gases generated underground by the decomposition of organic materials.
As a result, Rumpke's facilities create enough electricity and natural gas to heat or power approximately 50,000 homes and businesses. What you see behind me is one of our gas plants. This plant strips the carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and oxygen away from the methane gas so that pure natural gas can enter the pipeline to go to people's homes and businesses. One of the very first customers at many of our plants is our own truck fleet, where we fuel the trucks with compressed natural gas. That removes diesel trucks from the road with cleaner burning natural gas vehicles. We're expanding on that fleet every year.
In the fall of 2013, Rumpke opened a state-of-the-art $32 million MRF, short for Material Recovery Facility, in St. Bernard, Ohio, near Cincinnati.
For every 10,000 tons that we have at the landfill, it creates about one job. So for every 10,000 tons that we have at the recycling MRF, we can create 8 to 12 jobs. And that multiplies itself over time. So that's just a great story long-term, and just what an awesome thing for the job market here in Cincinnati.
Today, recycling begins with you at your home or business. Items we accept for recycling are limited to plastic bottles, jugs, and tubs, plastic and paper cups, cartons with caps and straws removed, glass bottles and jars of any color, aluminum, steel, and tin cans, and paper, including cardboard, newspaper, office paper, junk mail, phone books, magazines, and clean pizza boxes.
In the early days, we separated everything at the curb. So all of the 2 liters went in one section of the truck, all the glass by color went in a different section, the newspaper went in its own section.
We don't want people to think it's too difficult to recycle. That's one of the reasons that we implemented single stream recycling, to make it easier for our customers. You just, put it in the bin all together. You don't have to separate it.
The trash goes in one container, recyclables in another. You leave both containers at the curb for Rumpke to collect, and your job is done.
The recycling, it felt like I'm doing something to preserve something, giving back instead of throwing it all away.
A lot of times when I talk to students, we talk about examples. How can you reduce? Have your own reusable water bottle instead of a new one every day, or using a reusable shopping bag when you go to the grocery store. How could you use this for something else?
For Rumpke, the process is just beginning. Think of recycling as wading into a never-ending river of recyclables and dividing various materials into separate streams. The idea is to separate each material so it can be compressed into bales and sold.
In a modern-day material recovery facility, I kind of look at it as like peeling an onion. You have this big conglomeration of material, and you're going to try to pull off each layer of that material till you're left with nothing but different layers of material in different bunkers. We're kind of disassembling something instead of putting it together.
55 tons of recyclable materials are processed at the MRF every hour. From here, it's sorted into separate streams by a combination of people and technology, using a complex system of chutes and conveyors. Sorters are located at various stations throughout the process, each pulling out stuff that either doesn't belong or could gum up the works. Some technology is designed to shake and sift apart specific recyclables from the rest. Other machines, called disc screeners, send the stream of materials over spinning discs that propel larger items, like cardboard sheets, along the line, while allowing smaller items, such as plastics, steel, and aluminum cans, to fall through gaps between the discs, down chutes to other conveyor belts. Another machine is the angled sorter, a wide conveyor tipped at an angle and inclined at a sharp upward angle so that three-dimensional items, like water bottles, roll off onto a conveyor below, while newspapers continue on to their destination. Other technologies at work in the MRF are an overhead magnet that attracts the metal cans and an eddy current used to separate aluminum cans. The eddy current uses rare earth magnets to repel the aluminum cans, causing them to jump several feet forward, while other material falls onto a separate conveyor. Rumpke uses optical scanners to detect newspaper, cartons, plastic water and 2-liter bottles, along with other plastic containers like milk jugs and laundry detergent bottles. The scanners project a beam of infrared light onto a fast-moving conveyor belt and determine what kind of material is passing by. If the item is something the scanner is set to identify, it instantly sends a message to a computer, triggering a quick blast of air to divert the item to another conveyor.
So as we start to want to pull more recyclables off of our line in Cincinnati here at the MRF, we went to advanced technology, and that technology is robotics. One of those recyclables is polypropylene. It's a number 5 plastic that we're able to now pull off the line and get recycled. So we're able to accept people's tubs, and that's yogurt, cottage cheese, those type of things that you would normally have in your home can now go in the recycling bin.
Once the recyclables have been separated, they are pressed into bales that can weigh anywhere from 800 pounds for aluminum cans to well over a ton for paper. Bales are loaded onto trucks and railroad cars and shipped to factories to be made into something new. Glass makes up 15 to 20% of what Rumpke collects from its residential customers.
We now, in Cincinnati and Columbus, send our broken mixed glass to our state-of-the-art glass recovery facility in Dayton, Ohio.
There, it's ground into particles the size of a grain of sand and used to manufacture fiberglass insulation. Optical scanners are also used to sort larger pieces of glass according to color, whether it's clear or amber, to be made into new bottles. Either way, glass can be recycled over and over again. So that's how recycling happens at Rumpke. From the company's earliest days back in the 1930s, Rumpke has always looked for ways to find value in all the stuff you throw away, as well as ways to manage and control the river of garbage, to put less of it in the ground and more of it back to good use.
As the world is evolving and technology improves, we're going to be able to recycle additional waste streams to reduce the volume going into our landfill and get more benefit out of the materials that we're recycling.
Every year, the recycling rates go up and the trash rates come down. I think there will come a day where recycling and waste become similar, and even one day that we actually may be recycling more than we throw away.
There is more to our day than just what we can take and that we need to give back. And that's very, very important, whether it's recycling or thinking about the amount of water that we use or the energy that we use. All of those different things all fit together to make a picture of being responsible in the way you live your life.
Yes, I like to think I'm playing a part of that.
Recycling is, in some ways, still a frontier, but it's becoming more and more a part of our culture and everyday lives. It's about all of us doing our part. In the end, the story of Rumpke Recycling is about a family with a true sense of purpose and a deep feeling of responsibility to preserve the planet for generations to come. At the same time, it's a story of the pride the Rumpke family and their extended family of 2,000-some employees take in the services they perform and the work they do every day, all year long, in every kind of weather imaginable, as long as we have stuff to throw away.